modest financial analyst Graham Krakowski has finally saved enough money to buy a house. However, living next door to his new home is a repulsive homeless man who sees nothing wrong with barging into Graham's place whenever he feels like it. Trying to keep the unwanted guest out, Krakowski turns his house into a fortress, sinking himself into debt. But the strangeness doesn't stop. And when a neighbor of Graham's is found murdered in a trash bin, he realizes that the homeless man has moved on to more decisive actions. In the pre-internet era, unconventional multi-genre films often had a very hard time. To sell them to audiences, studios had to position a movie as clearly and unambiguously as possible, and in the case of a film like The Vagrant, that was nearly impossible. Formally, it's a psychological thriller, in tone an absurd black comedy, visually almost body horror, and in spirit, The Vagrant is closest to Tales from the Crypt. Mass audiences simply weren't ready for such a bold and unusual blend of genres. The film failed at test screenings, baffled critics, and suffered a humiliating box office flop. It was pulled from theaters just a week after its premiere. Was such a reception deserved? Absolutely not. From its very first scenes, the film establishes an overtly grotesque tone, elevated above reality with a strong satirical vibe. Everything is exaggerated, twisted slightly into absurdity, from scenes in Graham's office to his encounters with the homeless man, and his attempts to call the police, who only start reacting after he mentions that the man urinates in the bushes. It's no coincidence that the film was produced by Mel Brooks' studio, Brooks being a master of parody who knows a thing or two about humor. But The Vagrant isn't just a comedy, it's very much a thriller as well, in which screenwriter Richard Jefferies and director Chris Walas try to destabilize the viewer's sense of reality. Over the course of the story, Graham learns that he sleepwalks, and from that point on, the filmmakers begin playing with a paranoid question: how real is what's happening to him? Is some deranged vagrant truly trying to destroy his life, or is all of it the work of his own hands? Bill Paxton is terrific as a yuppie gradually coming unhinged. Michael Ironside clearly relishes his role as a caricatured tough guy investigator, and Marshall Bell makes excellent use of his unsettling makeup. All the body effects in The Vagrant are very strong. Wallace is, after all, a seasoned makeup effects artist whose credits include Gremlins, The Fly, Enemy Mine, and Arachnophobia. Christopher Young's score is also a perfect fit. He composed a genuinely brilliant theme that combines unusual instruments with the sound of heavy breathing. The Vagrant lands forcefully between several chairs, but settles there quite comfortably. MGM's confusion is understandable. They simply didn't know how to market the film. Today, however, when strange, otter-driven cinema has practically become mainstream, The Vagrant is much easier to appreciate for what it is, without the burden of false expectations. These days, a 24 and Neon would be fighting over a movie like this. That said, The Vagrant is not flawless. It clearly lacks enough narrative meat for a 90-minute runtime and begins to repeat itself halfway through, and the entire trailer park section in the third act could be cut without pain. It adds nothing to the drama and actively kills the pacing. Still, even in these moments, The Vagrant never feels empty or forced. You can tell that the people who made this film truly cared about it, and that fire still comes through the screen even decades later.